We are going to start with the sweet, okay? I know I showed you the sweet last week, and I want to be able to just kind of go over some things with you, okay? So if you're in your mini, you are going to be on pages 8, page 9, page 10, and page 11. So this is one of those mega sweets because you've got 2 stamp sets, you've got a die set, paper, and all these lovely accessories, okay? And I'm gonna spend some time tonight. I'm gonna go into detail on the warm wraps dies. There are a ton of possibilities with these wraps dies, and they're super cool. So I can't wait to share that with you. So let's start with stamp sets. This is the Warm Hugs stamp set right here. Hi Joanne, welcome. And this stamp set does have the coordinating dies. So you can actually bundle the 2 of these items and save 10%, okay? There are 20 dies in the warm wraps. And the stamp set has 21 images here. And you're going to notice, look at the candy cane. You can stamp the candy cane and stamp this on top. And then it looks, you know, if you stamp it in red, then it looks like you've got a peppermint candy cane. The same with the tree. You can stamp the tree and then fill it in with a solid image. And the same with the cup. You can stamp the outline and then fill it with this solid image. I love these pieces, and one of my favorite parts is this die, because when you stamp this die and you cut it out, it separates so that you only get this ring, okay? And I'm gonna show you what the dies look like when they are stamped, okay? And I'll do that in just a second. Here is the other stamp set that goes with this suite, and it's called Wrapped in Christmas. And it has 10 greetings in here, and they're really nice. And these 2 actually coordinate and go with the dies, all right? And then you've got the other ones that you can use on greeting cards or with the coffee carrier as well, okay? Now let me show you what the dies look like when it's all together, okay? When it's all cut out. All right, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit so we can kind of see the whole sheet here. All right. So you're going to notice this piece right here. Now with the dies, there are actually 2 of these. They are exactly the same size. They are not different, okay? They are the same, but the nice thing is you can cut 2 at one time, and you do need 2 in order to wrap the entire cup. So tonight, I'm going to show you how to wrap the cup, how to assemble these little wraps and put it on the cup, okay? Now I want you to look at this detail right here. I'm going to go ahead and just put this back on the die, and you'll notice this detail right along here. So I want to show you how you can cut that out. It actually goes with these 4 dies here. So I'm going to pull these out because they are not the same size, okay? So if you have this set, or if you are considering this set, I want you to know how to use it when you get it, okay? So here's one of the dies, and it's long, and this one would go at the very top of the wrap. Now, when you're cutting this, you could just create the pattern at the top and not create it at the bottom. So you have that option, okay? Now you're going to notice that this die right here is a little bit shorter, and so the shorter one goes right there. And you have 2 additional dies, okay, for the design, and that is so you can cut 2 at one time. Okay, does everybody understand that? So they are different sizes. All right, I'm going to put these back, and I usually put these right back on the magnet sheet with within side of one of the wraps. It just fits on the magnet sheet better, okay? All right, now I want you to look at this design, okay? This one's really pretty too. And so for this design, again, you have 4 of these dies. This is what they look like when they're turned over. And then when you flip it over to cut, you would lay it on the wrap just like that. Now notice, again, you've got the longer die and the shorter die. And again, you can actually do both wraps at one time, okay? And you could also, again, you could do just cut the top. You could just cut the bottom. You don't have to do top and bottom, okay? So lots of options as far as the design is concerned. Now I've cut one of the wraps just using this die, and I cut it with designer paper. So look how different it looks when the wrap is cut with designer paper. You're going to also notice that 2 ruffle dies also come with the set. All right. Hi, Simone. Welcome. All right. So now, again, one is longer and one is shorter. And so you can cut these out. You only get 2 of these in the die set. And then you can tuck them under the wrap. And I'm going to show you how to do that tonight too. So I want you to leave here tonight knowing how to assemble the wraps for the cups. Okay, we've got 3 stamped images that coordinate beautifully with this die right here. You stamp, you cut out, and then it cuts out that inside circle. Again, stamp and cut out, cuts out the inside circle, and so does this one. All right, so it's a really clever little die and how they did that. Now, this is a really fun piece, and I love the fact that it has a stamped ornamental outline. All right, so you can stamp that in any color you want, of course, and then you would cut this one out using this stop sign shape, which we did use last week on last week's project. Okay, now you also get dies for the star, and it's a solid star, okay? There isn't an outline for the star. And then there's a solid heart, and there isn't an outline for the heart. Now with the cup, there is the outline for the cup, and unfortunately, I lost my cup at the last minute and didn't have time to stamp and cut another one. But the outline goes there, and then you can stamp the solid image right in the center. Here's the tree. It uses the same tree die, but you have the outline and you have the solid image. And I love the candy cane because look what happens when you use the solid image for the candy cane. You get the stripes. Isn't that cool? Now, this piece here is probably going to be more difficult for you to see, but it has stitching all the way around the circle. So let me show you that die right here. See that stitching? This is the one that I cut out in real red, and it has that stitching around it. Okay. So these are the warm wraps dies. There are 20 of them, and I'm going to show you some different possibilities when creating your wraps. So let's see. Before I do that, okay, before I move on to the wraps, okay, I want to show you the designer paper. This is the Heartwarming Hugs designer paper, okay? And it's really, really pretty. And the package, it comes 12 by 12, and the package is $11.50, all right, in US dollars. So that's the Heartwarming Hugs designer paper. Okay, now going back to the wraps. And I have like clipped everything together because I didn't want to miss any of this. Let me move that out of the way. For anyone just joining us this evening, if you get a chance, please say hello and let us know where you're from so that your name can be in the drawing tonight. And also, please, just so you know, I will not be live next Wednesday night, okay? I'm going to take the evening off. I'll be cooking most of the day, okay? So I'll be back Wednesday, December 2nd, all right? Okay, so I want to show you some other possibilities. You can also take your wraps, okay? These are the Stampin' Cut embossing folders, and they're called Wrapped in Texture embossing folders. These are the minis, and 2 actually come in this set, okay? And this is part of the suite. Now, you can take your wraps, and I think this is the coolest part. You can emboss them, all right? And then you'll have like a quilted wrap going around your little mini coffee cup. Isn't that cool? I love that. And you can actually emboss both of them at the very same time. Now let's look at this one so you can see what this looks like. This is also really pretty. So if I were using this tonight, I would have a really hard time deciding which embossing folder to use because I love them both. Hello, Connie from Indiana. We're happy to have you. All right, so that's the wraps again. You can emboss both at the same time, so that'll save you one extra step, okay? So that's an option for your wraps. All right, let's see. I have some other things to show you. I had so much fun playing with this today. Here's one of the wraps. Now remember, when you're wrapping around the cup, it does take 2 of these, okay? I'm just showing you one, but you need 2 for one of the mini coffee cups. Hello, Beth. Good to have you. So I've taken the Mossy Meadow wrap, and I've cut this out, okay, using the ruffled die. So you could add this, all right, add that to your wrap. Let me zoom in a bit. And then you can also add the top one. Remember, the top one's longer than the bottom one, okay? So wouldn't that be a cute wrap? Let's see. So Simone says, what's the number about this? Oh, the embossing folder, Simone. It is 153574. Great question, Simone. It's pages 8, 9, 10, and 11 in the mini, okay, in your mini catalog. So there we are with the ruffled edges there. We could also take, see if I can get this right, a solid one, okay? We could do red. These are just different little possibilities. It's so fun. I don't think I cut another red one. Is that one long enough? No, I didn't cut another red one. So you could do that. There's the real red. And you could also take the Pear Pizzazz, all right, and embellish the wrap with the Pear Pizzazz. Here's the other cool thing. You could do just the bottom, or here's the, no, that's not it. Hang on here. Or you can do just the top. All right, so you could do just the top of your wrapper, or you could do just the bottom of your wrapper, or you can do both, okay? All right, let's look at some others. I cut some out with the designer paper. I thought this one looked really pretty. This would be a really pretty wrapper. And if you wanted, you could take the real red and layer that with that. Isn't that cute? That would be a cute wrapper. You could also take Mossy Meadow with the wrapper and do that one if you would like. And you could even add it at the top. Let me show you another wrapper. This one, let's see here. We'll do this one next. This one is a really nice wrapper with the lines going down. And how would this look? Let's just try this. Let's see what this one would look like. So you could do something like that if you wanted to use another designer paper. Yes, Joyce, the ruffle has stitching. I didn't even think to tell you that. Yes, so the ruffle's got stitching. Now, isn't that cute? What a cute wrapper that would be. And hopefully you can see the stitching. Ladies, this suite is so versatile, and I had no idea until I started playing with the wrappers. Here is another designer paper for you. And you could take your Pear Pizzazz. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, we could do that at the bottom. We can add it at the top. Or we can just have one at the top. Isn't that cute? I like that, and that would actually look really good with what we're doing tonight. Simone, I do not know if Stampin' Up! Will do a Black Friday sale. I can tell you this. In the past couple of years, we have done something. So hold on to that, because next week maybe we will have a sale. But I do know that Stampin' Up! Usually does something. Last year, they did a sale for one day. A few years back, they did like a weekend sale. So just be watching my newsletter and my blog and my Facebook page, and I'll get all of that announced. I'm really liking this one, ladies. All right, let me see if there's anything else. Here's another wrapper. Okay, and we could do the green with this. And you know what? Just have green at the bottom if we want. So super versatile. Here's something else you can do, okay? See this one that's cut? Watch this. We can add this to the wrapper. And now you can see that Pear Pizzazz peeking through the holes. Oh, well, good, Jean. I'm glad you're back, and I'm glad you're watching with your PC. That's awesome, Jean. We're happy to have you back. All right, so that's a possibility. Let's look at the designer paper, okay? Can you all tell I had fun doing this today? Here's one of the designer papers, and let's tuck that under. And that's what that wrapper would look like. So can you see those holes just peeking through? Isn't that cool? So I think I've shown you all my designer paper. I think I'm actually going to, I might use this one tonight, so I'm going to keep it out. All right. So lots of different possibilities with you with cardstock and designer paper, okay? Yeah, it does look like the ribbon, that eyelet ribbon that we have, Joyce. It does. The designer paper, the coordinating colors are Mossy Meadow, Pear Pizzazz, and Real Red. Okay, so those are the coordinating colors, and Joyce has got some great eyes tonight because look at that stitching. Joyce, didn't you have cataract surgery today? Because I'm telling you, you've done well. You saw that those stitched ruffles there. All right, so let me just put this in a bag so that it doesn't get all over the table. All right, and just lots of different ways for you to embellish the wraps. I think the sky's the limit. It's pretty unlimited. All right, let's see. I think we're about ready to start. I am going to show you one of our book stacks. We've been making these. We made one. Didn't we do one for Halloween? And then we did one with the poinsettia paper and then the autumn paper. So this is the Heartwarming Hugs paper. And these are the little book boxes that I found at the Target Bullseye dollar aisle. And Joyce, you're doing great with one eye. You really are. And I'm glad you had a successful surgery today. So here's that Heartwarming Hugs designer paper. I've used the Itty Bitty Christmas Wishes or Itty Bitty Christmas stamp set. This is a returning favorite, this stamp set. It's item number 150513. I doubt it will return next year. It has 18 greetings and we're using it tonight. And I also used it on these books. I love it. I absolutely love all the Christmas greetings that are in it. And then we've got our little sheer real red ribbon. This star is part of the Heartwarming Hug Suite, that cute little glittery star. And then I created this tag to go on the book set. All right, so that's the books, and that's the photo that you saw earlier on my blog page. So let me show you the stars. They are right here. Whoops. And they're silver and they're glittery. There they are. And they're called Glitter Star Ornaments. And they're item number 153543. All right. And then the braided trim is part of the suite. And if you participated in my ribbon share, you have 2.5 yards of this ribbon. This is the braided real red trim. And the last part of the suite is the Mossy Meadow, the diagonal stripe, and they're 10 yards of this. If you participated in the ribbon share, you've got 2.5 yards, okay? So that's Mossy Meadow. Now we're ready to get started. So I'm gonna bring in our cute little thing that we're doing here. We're gonna make a wrapper. I'm gonna show you how to do it tonight, and then we're gonna do a bit of stamping, okay? But let's go ahead and start with the base of the coffee holder, okay? First of all, I need to give credit to a demonstrator. Her name is Jennifer Roque, R-O-Q-U-E. This is Jennifer's design, and I can't remember where I found it. I don't know if it was YouTube or Pinterest or what, but I love Jennifer's design, and so this I'm giving her all of the credit for tonight's project, all right, because she came up with the design, the measurements, and all that good stuff, all right? So this is what we're going to start with. You're going to need 2 pieces of Mossy Meadow. I'm going to grab a sip of water, and then I will measure this for you. Okay. So this actually measures 8 1/4, and my ruler only goes to 8. But let me just look at measurements. Yep, 8 1/4. All right, so it's 8 1/4. I'm sorry, I'm out of the picture. And it's 3 inches. All right. Now you are going to need a score. And so when you're scoring, you will score, Hang tight. I'm looking at my notes. You're gonna score at, let's go around this side. Yep, this is where we're supposed to be. Okay, so you're going to score at 3/4 of an inch, all right? So 3/4 of an inch, and then you're going to score again at 3 3/4. I know it can be hard to see the score lines on Mossy Meadow, so I'm pointing them out. This is 4 1/2, and this one is 7 1/2. All right, so those are your measurements there. Then you'll need an additional piece of Mossy Meadow, and this one's going to measure 6 inches by 3 inches, and it is a 1/2 inch. Okay, that's where you score, at the 1/2 inch mark. All right, right along the 6 inch side. Okay, all right. Well, one of the first things that, well, let's see, what should we do first? Let's go ahead. This is going to become the back of the holder. So let's just go ahead and get that all prepped and ready. And I'm going to be using this trio punch. I believe it's still a current punch. Let me look, didn't think to do that beforehand. This punch has 3 different punches in one. You'll find it in the annual book. It's page 165, and this is the detailed trio punch. All right? It's item number 146320. All right. Now, depending on where you lay your cardstock will depend on which design you get. All right? We want to round the corners. And so I'm going to insert my paper. Hopefully, do you see these guides? This is where the paper goes in, just like this. So that paper is resting between those guides. It's right up against it, all right? Now, this is designed to work either in your hand or on the table. And look how we have rounded that corner. So now we're going to do the same, and we've rounded the corner there too. Okay, so that's what you want to do. We're going to do the very same thing with the designer paper. And you know what? I need to give you measurements on designer paper. The designer paper is 2 7/8 by 5 3/8. Okay, 5 3/8. And we're going to use the corner rounder on the designer paper. I'm just making sure I've got it in the guide. When you slide in the paper, you will feel it hit the guide. And then you know that you've got it in the right place. Get rid of that little bit of paper. And we are going to add it to this piece right here. And, oh no, here it is. I thought I had taken my seal off the table. All right, so I'm gonna advance my seal there. There we go. And I'm gonna run it around the corners, just like that, okay? And then I want this, how do I wanna do this? Oh, Melissa, so good to have you from Finger Lakes. That's awesome. Thanks for joining us. Yes, if you're just joining in, please say hello and tell us where you're from, and then your name can be in tonight's drawing. Tonight, I'm giving away ribbon just in time for Christmas, okay? So that's what you want to do, all right, with the back of the cup holder. Now, before we move forward, I have a feeling that you'd probably like to see what these other two guides look like. So let's use this one. And I'm just using a Post-it note. I don't know if I have any cardstock over here that I can use. Let me see here. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm trying to remember here. I think I need cardstock. That paper is just too thin for me. Do I have anything? No, I don't. I was hoping I had a little piece of cardstock. Let me try this. Okay. All right. So with this one right here, the paper has to go in and hit those guides, all right? And then when you punch, you have a hole. Now this hole is awesome for a tag, okay? So if I were creating a tag, this is the perfect hole to run ribbon through, all right? Hi, Amy, welcome. And then I'm going to take this last corner because I want you to see what the last one looks like. This is what it looks like if you use this in this corner. Isn't that pretty? So it's 3 punches in one, and it's got 3 feet so it doesn't slide, and it has the guides so that your paper goes in there, it hits the guide, and then you're ready to punch. So it's the detailed trio punch. Okay. All right, so we've done this little part here. And so the next part is we've got to create the holder, okay? We're creating the holder for the cup, okay? So if I take the cup out, this is what we need to create now. We've got to put a hole in this piece of paper, all right? So this is where the Big Shot, well, not the Big Shot, it's where the Stampin' Cut emboss machine is going to come in handy. Yes, Simone, put it on your list. Absolutely. Okay, it is not really going to matter if you put the hole here or if you put the hole here, all right? I've done it both ways and it doesn't seem to matter, okay? So you basically want the hole to be centered on this panel, okay? So let's measure the circle to give you an idea of which die I am using. I am using the die, it looks like the circle is about 2 5/8 in diameter, all right? And it fits the cup perfectly, okay? So let's move our new machine over here. Okay. All right, and I'll go ahead and I'm gonna zoom out now. There we go. Okay, and I'm using a die. So I know I need platform 1. I need 2. I need 3. And now we are going to put our circle here, and we're going to take a good look at that. You can just eye it. You really don't need to measure, okay? And then we'll go ahead, and I think that will work. Now, another thing I've noticed with their new machine, it really helps when your plates are even, okay? If they're in different lengths, I guess, if they're not even like a sandwich, it may not want to crank through, okay? So that's something that you want to be sure that they're straight. All right. So now we'll cut that out, and we've got our circle that's needed for the cup. Okay. Now we have one other thing that we're going to do, and that is we are going to add a piece of designer paper. So let's get this out. I've already cut it, and I'll give you measurements. It is 2 7/8 by 5/8 of an inch. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. 5/8 of an inch. All right. And then we're going to put our seal on this. And this is going to come over here, okay? And this is going to close here, but we're actually going to put that in the back of the holder, okay? So that little closure is going to go in the back. And so I'm actually going to put my designer paper right here in the center. All right, and you're gonna have about 1/8 of an inch all the way around, I think. Okay, so that goes on the center panel. All right, hi Bess, welcome. I know the trio punches are awesome, Amy, because you've got 3 punches in one, so you get a lot of value out of that for sure. Okay, let's go ahead and we're gonna add some seal here. I'm gonna add a little extra. And then we are going to close this. And I want it to meet on the score lines here. All right, there we go. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna use my Stamp & Seal Plus for the back of this. Okay, so this is made, all right? And then we're going to take this, okay? And this is actually going to go underneath the box. And this is going to tape right here, okay? So let's go ahead and we'll put Stamp & Seal Plus there. And I'm just gonna move this so that I can get my Stamp & Seal Plus on the back of this. All right. There we go. Okay, so see that? That Stamp & Seal Plus is right there. It holds just like tear and tape. And then this part right here is going to go on the bottom of the box. Okay. And then the two are going to meet. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to take my bone folder and I am just going to put it inside this thing. Inside of here, just kind of burnish this so that it'll stick really well, okay? So hopefully you were able to see that and that is not too hard, okay? So there it is. That's your holder. All right, so now we're gonna have fun with the cup. And actually, you know what we'll do? I have this little piece of Whisper White right here. And that needs to be stamped. So let's go ahead and stamp that up in real red. It's going to go right here. I'll measure this for you. Let's see what happened to the ruler. This is, all right, this is a tough one. Okay, so that is a 1/2 inch, which is 8/16. So this is 7/16. But if you cut it at 3/8 of an inch, you'll probably be fine. Or you can do, you know, you could even do a 1/2 inch if you want, if that's easier for you to cut. And then the length of this is 2 1/4 inches. Okay. All righty. So a little stamp in here. We're using Christmas Cheer. It's from Itty Bitty Christmas. Real red ink. If you don't have real red, use Mossy Meadow. You can even use Cherry Cobbler, okay, or even Poppy Parade. So you've got options if you don't have real red. I'm going to pop this up. Let's see, right here. Okay, and then I'm going to center it, and I'll put it about right there. Okay, what do you think? All right, so we're gonna move on to the cup and have a little fun with that. And we'll talk about the straw in a minute. Not a big deal there. We're gonna do some stamping and then we'll do the wrapper, okay? So let me get my sample back. Here's the sample right here. I'll hold that close so you can see it. We're gonna stamp this in Real Red. We're gonna stamp the tree in Mossy Meadow. And we're going to stamp this in the Mossy Meadow too, all right? Okay, so Real Red is first. And I'm using the verse Warm Hugs because we're using the warm wraps die, so I thought that'd be kind of fun. Oh, thank you, Carol. Thank you so much. This is like my third one, Carol. So, you know, by the time you do your third one, it gets easier. And honestly, it's really not that hard. All right, a little Mossy Meadow. Now you're gonna love this tree, okay? And let me zoom in a bit. First, we are going to stamp the outline. And then we're going to take that solid image. This might be a little, well, let's stamp it at full strength and see if we like it. Okay, so that's a darker tree. I'm gonna zoom in some more. See, that's a darker one. Let's go back and let's stamp off to see if we like that better. What do you think? I like the lighter tree better. So I'm gonna go with the lighter one for that in Mossy Meadow. And then Surround Yourself in Love of the Season. That came from that second stamp set. That's part of this suite, okay? And then we'll just stamp that right there. And so that is our stamping for our project. All right, and I'll just remind you, I like the lighter tree too, Dawn. I'm going with the lighter one for sure. I just want to remind everybody, if you're just joining, it's a great time to comment, say hello, tell us where you're from, because I'm giving away ribbon tonight, all right? And you don't want to miss the ribbon, okay? It's 10 yards. And not just one roll, several rolls, okay? All right, we're going to need this die here because we're going to cut that out. I'm going to use a punch for that. And then we've got our tree, okay? So while I'm thinking about it, just let me get the punch. This is a 1 3/8 inch circle punch. This is retired, okay? So another option, and I don't know if this will work, so let me see. You could cut that out and you get a cute shape. You can take the stitch circle, but that's gonna make it a whole lot bigger and harder to fit on the cup. And you can also look at, let's do this. Let's look at the layering circles dies because I think there is one here that we can use. Yep, there it is. That's the die. Okay, and that is about 1 3/8 of an inch. So that's why we retired this punch, because we've got the layering circles that will do the same thing. Yeah, the trees are so stinking adorable, aren't they? They're so cute. Hi, Tina, welcome. Yeah, so okay, so you have options if you have layering circles. I'm gonna use the punch because I own it and it's quick. And then I can just insert that and pop that out, okay? So that little piece is done. I'm gonna zoom all the way out because I'm gonna bring out the Stampin' Cut emboss machine. We've got this die. I just lost my tree. Oh, here it is. And there's the tree. Okay, so that's what we're using. And I will move that. Okay, I know I love the Sweet Dawn, and I love the possibilities with the wraps. I mean, you could, you know, probably decorate 20 cups and they could all look different. So Really like the versatility of it. All right, so my sandwich for the dies is die platform 1 and 2. And then I've got platform 3. Okay. And then I'm going to put my paper here with my dies. All right, so there's that one. We're going to go with the lighter tree tonight. All right. There we go. I'm going to put another cutting pad on. All right, hang on here. There we go. And that moves, so we're going to redo it. I do not have my magnetic platform over here. So hang tight, we'll get it just right. And I think what I'll do is cut one at a time, and then I won't be stressed if I don't get it, you know. I won't be stressed not knowing whether, I tell you what, I'm going to change my plate, so hang tight. All right, here we go. Yeah, lots of possibilities for sure. And of course, you all know I love coffee, right? I mean, yes, everybody knows that by now. It's funny, in our family, we tease each other, you know, that everybody's had a COVID purchase. So I tease my husband because back in April, he bought a Nespresso machine. And I tease him and I tell him it's his COVID purchase. He goes, no, it's not. But there we go. Look at that. Isn't that awesome how it turned out? So anyway, speaking of the Nespresso machine, okay, I made myself a pumpkin latte today and it was amazing. And I frothed my milk and it was just the perfect thing because it's chilly here today and it was very windy. And it's just what I needed this afternoon for sure. So, all right. Now we're going to do our tree. And remember, I'm on a wobbly table here, so hang tight as everything shakes. And this is our tree. How cute is that little tree? I love it. All right. And I just lost my tree dies, so hang tight. I definitely want to pick that up right now and put it on the magnet sheet. Okay, so let me get these put away so that I don't lose anything. Okay, remember that's the tree, the candy canes, the star, the heart, and this is the cup, okay? All righty. Okay, so now we're ready to do a bit of embellishing here. Let's go ahead. I cut this out in Mossy Meadow. I'll go back now and I can zoom in some. There we go. And then I'm actually going to take this and pop it up on here. And so I want to use, see if I can find my mini dimensionals here because they work perfectly with this. Okay. And we'll go ahead, whoops. That stuck to my fingernail instead of the paper. I'll go ahead, since these minis are little and cute, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put 4 on there. Okay. And then this is the tree, so I'm gonna put 1 on the back of the tree, okay? All right. Joyce says, I passed this up when I put in my last order and I'll have to go back and put it on my list. You always make me do this. You know, the same thing happens to me, Joyce, when we have our training. You know, I'll see a stamp set and I'm like, I will never buy that set. And then somebody does something with it. And it's like, daggone it, now I gotta have that. So I do know the feeling. It happens to me too. Happens to all of us, right? Yeah, Margaret says so. Michelle says so. All right, so there we are. We're all popped up there. Okay. And if you're in my hostess club, which they're local, we will be using this set. I didn't peel the paper off. We'll be using this set in December. We're going to make a gift card with it, which means we'll probably do it for Facebook Live too. We can't leave anybody out. I'm trying to get my tree low enough. There we go. All right. So let me just kind of hold that up. Simone, you're welcome for the class. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to see you on Wednesday, December 2nd. All right, so that's what it looks like, okay? All right, yeah, it looks like we're all in the same boat, girls. Absolutely. All right, well, let's work on the wrapper now, okay? So that when you order your set, you'll know how to put it together, okay? All right, let me grab something to drink here. I know, Melissa, I like it too. The more I play with it, the more I like it. You're gonna notice that I cut my wrappers using designer paper. And then I've got the red going on here, and this is what it looks like. I only decorated the top, okay? But remember earlier we put some paper together and I really liked it? So I'm gonna change up. Okay, so hang tight. I'm going to change up. And I'm going to use this. I think this will actually look really cute along with that, okay? And then I'm going to go with the Mossy Meadow. Oh, and you know what I didn't do? I bet I don't have another set of Mossy Meadow, so we'll go with the real red, okay? So versatile, so versatile. All right, give me just a second. Okay, so to get started, I'm gonna show you how to add the ruffle, okay? That's what I'm calling it anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use the Stampin' Seal Plus, because part of this adhesive will go on the cup. I am going to run my Seal Plus right along the top, okay? And then I am just going to slide this up here and position it like this, okay? Now, if I wanted, I could add the bottom, all right? But when you go to put the cup in this particular holder, you're really not going to see the bottom. And so that's why I'm not putting it on the bottom, okay? Because it's just not going to show up. I think it'll just kind of interfere, all right? All right, so let's do this again. Did I do the same thing? I think we have to cut one. Let's see here. Let me look at my samples. I may need to cut one red one. What did I do? You all hang tight. Let's see. Oh, here are the samples. Hopefully I've got a long one. All right. Oh, here's a long one. There we go. Okay. So we'll go back to this now. We're going to do the very same thing to this. We're going to put that Stampin' Seal at the top of the wrapper, okay? Ooh, I wonder if you could use it as a wrap for cupcakes too, Laura. I have no idea. Wow, that would definitely be something to check into because it does look like a cupcake wrapper. Okay, so now they're both done. And do you see this little tab? This tab, and I'm going to switch over to tear and tape because it'll be easy to get it on this tab, okay? And I'm going to put it right there, okay? And I've got to do it again over on this tab, okay? All right. Okay, so there we go. And now we can actually take the tear and tape off. And then we are going to connect these two, okay? And I'm gonna hold this up high so you can see it. And we basically connect them at the tab, okay? You may not be able to see that tab. Look how beautifully this lines up. Check out the curve. You can't cut a straight line and wrap it around the cup because it will be bulky. But look how you can do that. All right. Now, the other thing I like to do is take your bone folder. Thank you, Jean. I am trying to think outside the box. And just break the fibers up in that designer paper just a tad. All right. It's going to make it easier to go around the cup. Okay. So let's get that cup. And you're going to notice with this wrapper, you're going to have a seam here and you're going to have a seam here. So on two sides, we have one seam on the cup, okay? So you can either line up your seam on your cup if you want, but your seam on your cup will be on the side, okay? Or you can keep your seam of the cup on the back. I think that's what I'm going to do, but my seams for the wrapper will be on the side. Okay, look how I'm wrapping it around the cup. How cute is that? I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. I like to wrap it around the cup to connect the last part because that kind of tells me how snug it's going to be on the cup, okay? All right, we're gonna bring it down a little bit so it'll reach. All right, let's see here. Here we go, here we go. All right, that is still, I think it's still, I'm gonna do this. Let's try this and see if I like this. This is kind of what I did earlier today. So we'll attach those. There we go. So it's actually a little bit better to go on and do your tabs and then slide it onto your cup, okay? That's what I would recommend. I think that is going to be your easiest, okay? And then with the little label that we made, we're gonna put this in the front. And I finally get to finish off this little bit of embellishments here, or dimensionals, all done. Okay, and I'm just putting it in the middle. You don't want to put, I actually did put it on the sides. Is that gonna hold? I think it will. All right, this is the back of my cup because that's where the seam is. And so I am going to add this about here. Okay. So that's where I've added it. I did do it below the ruffle because I like that to show. I know, just like Starbucks, looks just like it, doesn't it? All right, so that is the outside of your cup. Look how easy that is. Now, mine just slipped, okay? You probably can't see that. It just slipped off a little bit. All right, so if that happens, take a glue dot. All right, find a little area. Let's see here. There is a little space under there, and I don't know if you can see that, but I'm gonna slide a glue dot under there maybe. Yep, there goes a glue dot. Let's do it again. Let's find another area where it might be. Yep, we can put one right there. Okay, and by just tucking in a few glue dots, you know that it's going to stay and you have nothing to worry about. Okay, I'm going to put one over here. All right, no more worries. It's not going to slide anymore. Okay, now we're going to add our little top. And by the way, when you purchase the cups, you do get 8 in a package, and you also get the 8 tops. All right, and they come in a nice a cardboard box, heavy duty. They're not going to get smashed, okay? All right, so now we're gonna add our stitch circle, and this is in real red. Now let me look to see how I did this one. I did pop it up. So let's get some dimensionals here. Let's see. All right, now we've got this dimensionals to finish off. I'm just gonna go ahead and add some dimensionals here. All right, and this circle's gonna fill up this whole area. Now, I think you could sneak a gift card down inside this cup. You could add some hot cocoa and marshmallows to the cup. You could put peppermint candies in the cup. So the sky's the limit, okay? There's your circle. See how nicely that fits? And you do want to pop it up. If you tape it, I think it's going to be too far down, okay? Thank you, Amy. All right, next step. We're going to add a piece of designer paper. All right, and let's see. Let's pop that up too. Why not? Get rid of these last bit of dimensionals that I have on the sheet. Okay. And we'll pop this up on the circle. If I can get this off. And one more. And again, this is just designer paper. It's popped up. And then our last one, surround yourself in love. I'll just put that in the middle. And I'm going to center this just like that, okay? Now, before we finish off, I like to collect straws. I'm always looking for straws in the dollar store, okay? For fun projects, right? So this I've had many years. This one I've had many years, okay? But I'm sure there are some Christmas straws around, okay? We are going to cut some of this off because it's just going to be too long for this cup. All right, so let's try this and see how much of the straw I took off. Okay, maybe I want to go, I think I want to go that way. There, oh, I may have cut it too short, but I think it'll still turn out. Okay, so that's the cute little straw in it. I took off about 2.5 inches. You might want to take off like 1.5. It'll be a little bit longer. I'm going to attempt some ribbon. This ribbon here is all the trimmings. It's in the mini. And let me show you. It is page 25. It's a combo pack. 10 yards of each color, Old Olive and Poppy Parade. All right, so that's where the ribbon's from. I hope I tied this long enough. This may not be pretty, girls. We'll see. We'll see if I can do this. All right, so I'm wrapping it around the straw like that. All right, and I could even stop there, tie another knot, and just let it stay there. But I'm going to go ahead and attempt the bow. I probably should have cut more ribbon. All right. Ha-ha. Now we have to play with that ribbon to get that bow just right. All right. You probably can't see anything I'm doing, but right now I'm fiddling with ribbon. Okay. There we go. And I'll fool with it a little bit more later. But there's the cute little ribbon for it. So then we'll bring back our little treat holder that we made tonight. Isn't that pretty ribbon? I love it because it's got that gold trim. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you very much. I'm happy to share with you ladies. I love it. I love it. All right, so there's our little holder. How cute is that? Now, ladies, this is one of those holders that is pretty much impossible for me to mail. I just don't know how I would ever do it. So without paying a fortune to ship it in a box, okay? So I'm not gonna do a drawing tonight for this. I wish I was. Wish I was. But I am gonna give away ribbon tonight. Thank you, Carol, thank you. Has anybody put this on their list tonight? Hopefully you have, because it's a great, sweet